Jamie in Bernalillo. Am I saying that? Bernalillo, New Mexico?
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Bernalillo.
Bernalillo. So you saw 12 Years a Slave?
Yes, I did. And like you, I saw it on a SAG screener, so I was by myself when I watched it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And like you, the more I think about it, the more points were made that are applicable to things today. And I think maybe a previous caller said it didn't really present slavery in all of its horror, but I think that it's important to remember that this is a story based on a real book written by the man that it's about.
Yeah, I have bought the book, or at least the Kindle version of it. I've got it on my iPhone, and I've been reading it, as I go to sleep every night for 3 nights now, and it seems to be fairly consistent.
And I wasn't really looking forward to watching it, things like that. I don't enjoy looking at war movies either, so
right.
Things like that bother me. But I was amazed by the movie, and it's not presented as white's bad, black's good. It's lessons in human behavior that, like you said, can apply to today. Like the first slave owner was a compassionate man for the times,
mm-hmm.
and the mother that was crying over her children, he wanted to buy her young daughter so the daughter could be with the mother, but the seller wouldn't sell her because he said he could make more money as she grew older selling her out rather than selling her to someone. So then they get to, I won't tell the whole story, I'm sorry, but just for a point. They arrive at the plantation and the woman's still crying. His wife comes out and says, get them some food and some water. And said, why is she crying? Doesn't address the mother as a person, but why is she crying? Well, she misses her children. And the wife looked at her then and addressed her and said, have some food and get some rest, and you'll forget them soon enough.
Right.
And went back in the house. And the amazing thing was, it was said without cruelty. The woman was so enmeshed in her own society
mm-hmm.
that she saw herself as being benevolent and kind, and the stupidity and cruelty of her statement just totally escaped her. And I see that so much today. People who are really good people being able to say things that if they would step back and not just talk to the people who think like they do, they would see that their thinking isn't always that clear.
Yeah, it's like Rand Paul saying that we're actually hurting people by giving them unemployment insurance benefits after 26 weeks.
Exactly.
And that was my big aha from the movie was it's not the people, it's the system.
I think for the most part that's really true. I think the second slave owner, Michael Fassbender, mm-hmm. and his wife, they personified cruelty,
yes.
both of them.
Yes.
And their relationship, they felt this cruelty toward one another so much, but the way they were able to express it was through mistreating the slaves, taking it out on the slaves.
That's right.
And I thought today of people whose children end up suffering because the wife's afraid to hit her husband, or he won't hit her because he's a doctor and all, but the poor kids get one way or another get.
Yeah, and then there were also white people in the movie who worked on the plantations as opposed to owning the plantations. And
right.
They were in a situation where they could lord over the blacks, over the slaves, but they could also be pretty severely punished. I would assume probably right up to killed, without much consequence by the plantation owners, and that kind of middle ground of having to, kiss up and kick down is the phrase that's used in business. Almost describes business culture in America.
Yeah, middle management, I think, is one of the most difficult positions to be in, but you can do like they did, and you can become an awful person because of your frustration.
And kiss up and kick down, and it's a wonderful movie. It's a thought-provoking movie. It's not like watching some horror thing that which is, I think so much of the coverage of it has been presenting the brutality that's in the movie. It is not as brutal as it. I mean. Django's brutality was almost cartoon book, cartoonish.
I never did. I haven't been able to face Django yet, so I can't.
Oh well, Django was a piece of cake compared to this, because Tarantino so overdid things that it was like an old time Western, Django actually.
I can watch that because it is a cartoon. The movies.
Yeah.
One more quick thing, and I know I'm taking up my time. You mentioned education, and what I drew from that was they didn't want the slaves educated, as you said, but they also were emphasizing he was educated, but he was trying to get a letter out. And so what struck me was they probably wouldn't have even cared if he could read or write, but they wanted him not to be able to clearly communicate. And I think, as you said, that ties into our current system of education, even though now they're trying to emphasize the STEM careers to get people more interested in science and all, but most of the schools have almost totally taken out the things of humanities and the arts that taught critical thinking.
Well, and I think it also
we want our people educated to work, but we don't want them educated to be able to think and communicate.
I agree, and I think it also applies to our media as well.
Yes,
it's really remarkable.